I'm in a different place today. It feels kind of weird actually, but I'm getting ready to do some virtual sessions. So I thought I would just kind of get a video quickly done in here before I start, and trying to find a way to carve out time in my schedule every day, or as close as possible to every day, so I can do these sorts of videos, because it does mean a lot to me. It is really important, and it's hard to sort of create a change in our schedule like that. So sometimes I might be upstairs if my kids are down here. Sometimes I might be in here. I'll just have to bounce around. I might even be in my car sometimes. We'll see. Bear with me. But I wanted to talk today a little bit about the shadow. And depending on if you've heard about the shadow, where you heard about it, you might have some idea already about what the shadow is. So I want to clarify what I mean by shadow, because I think people can refer to different things as shadow and shadow work. For me, shadow work specifically, and referencing the shadow with respect to that, is work that has to do with us identifying the and getting to know the aspects of ourselves that we've kind of disowned, that we've kind of pushed away. And the way that I like to think about it is like, we want people to see this, what we portray to the world, right? And we tuck everything that we'd rather people not see behind us, and we sort of want to hide it in our shadow. It's casting a shadow behind us, and we're sort of like, don't look at that, look at this instead. This is who I am, not any of that. And so that's what I mean by the shadow. And what I love about shadow work is that, in terms of doing it for myself and helping other people with it, is that it's really easy to find an entry point. Because really, the start of shadow work, if you want to dive into it, the easiest entry point is to notice what just recently annoyed you most in your recent memory. What irritated you about somebody? What like made you roll your eyes at someone recently? Even something as simple as that is going to show you a little clue. It's going to be a little clue about your shadow. And here's why. So I'm going to use the example of a powerful woman. Let's say there's a beautiful, amazing, powerful woman in the room where you are, and she's expressive, and she's comfortable explaining her opinions on things, and she's maybe loud and taking up a lot of space. And for some people, they may sort of feel themselves sort of going, ugh, who does she think she is, right? That sort of reaction. And so I want to say that step one with shadow work, after you get used to noticing the annoyance and the types of things that annoy you, is catching it in the moment. And that involves participating in a somatic mindfulness practice day to day, because what it means is that you need to get really comfortable with paying attention to your body and your feeling states, and how that shifts from moment to moment depending on what's happening around you. It is a practice. It is something that actually does strengthen your mind-body connection, and that's why I consider it a mindfulness practice and a somatic practice. But it is, as step one, a really powerful one, because paying attention to your body's cues and signals is helpful in a million ways. This is one of those ways. So if you're noticing your body and you're like, wow, I was feeling pretty calm, and now I walked into this room and I feel really annoyed. What's that about? And then you realize, oh, this woman is actually kind of like creating annoyance in my body. My body's responding to her with annoyance. That sort of awareness is a superpower, because if you can have that self-awareness, you can do a lot with it. So you can take it home, you can look at it, and you can say, where did that come from? Where is it that I came up with the notion that it would be annoying for a woman to be powerful? Because what that person is doing in that moment, and what anyone is doing if we're triggered by them, is they're holding a mirror up to us, and they're reflecting an aspect of ourselves back at us. And so you're not just seeing her, you're seeing something about yourself in an unhealed version of you. So somewhere along the way, in this example, you would have learned that it's not safe for you to be in your power. It's not safe for you to have a voice. Maybe somewhere along the way when you were younger, a parent or a guardian or a close friend really shut you down when you occupied and took up space, when you were in your fullness. Or it doesn't have to be as overt as shutting you down. It could be as subtle as just not leaning toward you anymore, sort of withdrawing, or not leaning in. those subtle cues we do pick up on. They are attachment cues, and they send us messages about how safe we feel in a relationship and what it says about our security. So in this instance, somebody, who's triggered in this situation might learn about themselves. Wow, I don't feel comfortable when I'm in my power. I don't feel comfortable owning my voice. This is something that I have yet to heal and integrate, and therefore it is a part of my shadow. And it's also created a part that has fragmented off of me and that now holds that wound for me. That's why it's in my shadow. if it weren't in a part, it could be in here. It's actually cast aside, right? And so our work is to take the steps that I've talked about in other videos and that I'll continue talking about to heal that. Because in the healing of that, what we do is we reintegrate our, we lessen the trigger, we reintegrate what it means to be in our power. We're able to step forward more powerfully in our own lives, and we're no longer really triggered as much by other people in their power. The trigger gets small. It might even go away completely. It might become just a flutter of a reminder that you once felt that way. And so working on this in this way not only heals you, it prevents harming other people, because you might have treated her poorly or made her feel small in your reaction to her. And so healing your own reaction helps sort of bridge the gap between like this us versus them mentality that can happen when we aren't working on our shadow. And what I mean by that is, when we are triggered by somebody, what we do is we create this false dichotomy, us versus them. I am not like them. They are not like me. And that's part of globally in our society, part of what is such a huge problem. There are these fragmented, polarized, false dichotomies that exist all over the place. And I don't want to oversimplify. I know it's very complex, but to me, this is a little bit of an extension of the let them theory. It's not just let her be whoever she wants to be. It's let her be who she wants to be, and let me learn from that. Let me learn from the fact that I was annoyed by that to begin with. And so it really empowers you at the end of the day, and it creates space to move closer in union together with people who we normally would have created division with. And that can be in our relationships with our spouses. It can be in our relationships with friends, family. It's something that really, this false division really creates separation where there need not be. Our emotions were this amazing gift given to us as human beings to do magic with. And by do magic with, what I mean is like, you can discover so much about yourself and your relationships in the world, and change yourself and relationships in the world by simply becoming aware of the signals that the body's sending you in the emotional body, in the somatic experience that you have inhabiting a body in the world. And I just want to really like push forward the notion that that kind of work is very, very, very important and powerful, and something worth spending some time thinking about. I'll talk more about it, but we just kind of skimmed the surface today. I hope you're doing well, and I will see you soon. Bye.